I am going to explain how SBS Transit Bus Service 123 became a keyhole shaped service because its original route in the 1970s, it wasn't a keyhole shaped service. So let's go all the way back to 1970. I have yet to come across a video on YouTube that actually has explained this properly. Like, when a lot of Singapore bus enthusiasts nowadays, when they do all these historical videos, they tend to just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste without like any real understanding of how the routes like changed over time. It's just like regurgitated, like objectively speaking. So I'm just gonna tell you like every single detail. So you have to understand that like in the 1970s, the 12X services, they were designated as St. Michael's services. It's like back then St. Michael's bus terminal didn't really exist, and then they terminated at somewhere around Jalan Tenteram, Jalan Alam, I think. Sorry, Jalan Tenteram and Jalan Aman. So there were the original 7 services: 120, 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, and 126. So originally, 127, 8, and 9, they weren't really used up till like modern day. So from memory, 120 was still Shenton Way. I mean, technically it used to be Prince Edward Terminal, but I'm just gonna put Shenton Way so that you guys can understand better. So 121 was Shenton Way. Sorry, 120 was Shenton Way. 121 was also Shenton Way. Likewise, for 125, it was also Shenton Way. One, 2, 3 was Newbridge Road. One, 2, 4, I'm just going to put Teluk Blangah because it used to originate from like Teluk Blangah Rise in the opposite direction of service 272, which at that point in time it looked at Teluk Blangah Rise without going to Crescent. So 124 was like it originally it was from Teluk Blangah Rise, and then it got extended to Bukit Merah. It terminated there, but then it later got sort of extended to loop at Teluk Blangah Heights Drive instead of just terminating at Bukit Merah, and then it got extended to Harbourfront. So that was kind of the history of it. 126 was also New Bridge Road. One two two was kind of like the longest distance out of all of them because it was Buona Vista. Then it got extended to Bukit Batok and then got cut back again. And now I'm going to show you like via where. So 120 was via Beach Road. So it was like Beach Road, Crawford Street, Lavender Street. And then 121, it was, I'm not joking, like the oldest variation of Route 121 was actually, it had like that one small part of like modern day 121 at Maxwell Road. Because it's like Anson, Maxwell, Shenton Way, right? In the past, yes, it actually went via Maxwell Road as well. Because like that one Seoul bus stop at Maxwell Road that still exists till today, it wasn't only served by like 608. There was 121 there. And there was also like, I think one of the 40 something services. I cannot remember if it's like 42, 43, 45, or 46. I don't think it's 46 though, because 46 was kind of like a clone of service 11. So yeah, it was probably either 42, 3, or 5. I don't exactly remember which one. So this 121, the route was like kind of unique in the sense that like it's Anson Road and then it went via Maxwell Road, like all the way till Greta Ayer, Chinatown, and then it just went up to like Bugis. Then, if I'm not mistaken, Roger Canal, that small road that paralleled the canal. Then it was like Jalan Sultan. Then Kitchener Road and something along those lines. Okay, it turns out I'm correct, but it is not Jalan Sultan, it's Syed Alwi Road. But unfortunately, this 121 never really lasted like very long. It only lasted like for around 3 years, I think, or 4 years. I cannot remember. But like yeah, it was 1971 to 1974, I think. Then 125. Now this one was actually kind of similar to like the present day service 131. I mean, the original route was like Bukit Timah Road, Newton Road, Thompson Road, Norfolk Road, and then Balestier Road, because before the construction of CTE, Norfolk Road, Balestier Road, Momin Road, they used to be connected in like a triangle sort of thing. So those roads used to connect before the CTE was a thing. So yes, that was like the original how do you say? That was the original route of 125. Bukit Timah, Newton, Thompson, Norfolk, and then Balestier. And then over time it got amended to Kampong Java, then Norfolk, then straight up to Balestier. And then over time it got amended again to become I think it was like Rocher Canal Road. You follow service 23, Serangoon Road, and then you turn left to Balestier Road. But later 125 it got cut, which means it no longer went to Shenton Way. It kind of became the present day 125 because it sort of like absorbed the old service 20. Not really, but it got integrated with it. Because the old service 20 was like Sims Place, Aljunied Road, again from memory, Geylang Road, Lorong 1 Geylang, and then it looped that inside St. George's and St. Wilfred. But then that sector kind of got, again, when they say integrate, I don't necessarily know what they mean by integrate, because the old service 20 and the second generation, not the first generation that merged with service 100, but the second generation service 20 and 125, it's like their routes were so different. So how do you even say that like they got integrated together just because it was like from Sims Place to Boon King? Because their routes, it was like one went via MacPherson and Tannery Industrial Estate, the other one went via Lorong 1 Geylang. So it's like, how do you even say it's like it was like integrated in the first place? It just sort of like feels forced. But anyway, that was what became of 125's route. So at that point of time, it no longer went to Farrer Park MRT. Until NEL rationalization, they amended it again. So it's like Bendemeer Road, Kitchener Road, Serangoon Road, and then Balestier Road. So yeah, that was kind of like how 125's route like changed over time. But this video isn't necessarily about 125. I just wanted you guys to understand how 125's route really changed, and the fact that like 125's route was kind of similar to present day 131 from St. Mike's to Shenton Way, but like obviously with some differences. because yeah, 125 used to like be kind of like 131 all the way to Bukit Merah, and then 131 sort of like took over the 125 sector. It was like Bukit Merah Central, Henderson, Jalan Bukit Merah, Lower Delta Road. Back then there was no, as in it didn't go into Bukit Permai. There was only 123 inside there, and 275. And so Lower Delta, Telok Blangah Way, Henderson Road, Telok Blangah Road, Keppel Road, Anson Road. That part actually used to be 125 until 131 became a thing. So, like again, these two routes, they happen to be like very, very similar in the past. Then 126 was actually Middle Road. So it was kind of, and I mean kind of like the old Service 81 from New Bridge Road to Old Tampines Road, then became Tampines. I mean that route, it used Middle Road in both directions and Victoria Street in both directions, but this 126, it only used Victoria Street in like one direction, I think. The other direction was actually via North Bridge Road to City Hall MRT. So this one was middle. It was Middle Road, and if I recall, it was actually just Middle Road, and then Siligi Road, Serangoon Road, and then turning left to Balestier. It was a very straight and simple route. It's like almost a straight line minus Middle Road from U Tongson Street all the way till like Farrer Park MRT. Then it'll turn left to Balestier and just go to St. Mike's. Very straightforward. Even the other bound was just that one small part of Lavender Street and then Jalan Besar. It didn't like go Boon King Road or anything. It was just Lavender Street, then Jalan Besar. And yeah, and now I'm gonna be talking about 123 in detail. So for starters, there used to be a route that was like kind of a similar concept to the present day 123, and that was SBS Transit Service 190. And just to be clear, this has got nothing to do with the second generation, which is like the current 190. Nothing related to it. This one is the first generation. So this one's route was actually from Jalan Bukit Merah, Queensway, and then both bounds actually went inside Commonwealth Drive. It actually did this. And then obviously like the opposite bound, it U-turn, because this one used to be like a sort of like roundabout, if I remember correctly. I don't know, but like they used to U-turn and like go like this. I mean that was the other bound. And then it went via Botanic Gardens. Okay, when I mean Botanic Gardens, I mean like Holland Napier, the southern end of like Botanic Gardens. And then it went Tanglin Road, Orchard, and then Dhoby Ghaut, Bras Basah, and then it went down to CBD. Originally, it was like South Canal, but I mean, it was like till CBD. So this was a route that like conceptually was kind of similar to like 123, the modern day 123 like in the past. And then the routes in the past, they used to duplicate each other. So there used to be a 191 from like Clementi, Ulu Pandan, like literally just duplicating all the way. I'm not even joking. And then that's not it. 14 from Bukit Merah Central. It used to go Jalan Bukit Merah, Queensway, and literally Holland, Napier, Tanglin, Orchard, Bras Basah, and then this one went up Nicole Highway. until like Bedok Road, I think. But yeah, the routes in the past, they really duplicated each other a lot. So in comparison, 123, I mean originally it was from South Canal, but let's take the version that like would be more familiar. Not really, but because you guys aren't really familiar. Okay, so New Bridge Road, New Bridge, Outram, and then this is like Zion and Outram Road. This is Havelock MRT. This Havelock Road, and then Pulo Saigon, which is like Clemenceau Avenue. And then I know in the past they used to be like, oh, River Valley, Tank Road, and stuff like that, but nowadays it's just Clemenceau Avenue. And then, okay, it's not to scale, but Somerset, Orchard, just drawing roughly. And then this was actually Newton MRT, Newton Road, and then Momin Road, and then to Jalan Aman Terminal, which is St. Mike's. So this was 123 in the past, and eventually the reason why they wanted to amend 123 away from New Bridge Road Terminal was because this thing kind of duplicated 124. So 124 is like this, and then 124 when Dobby got, and then as you know it is just straight from there on. So to reduce duplication, by duplication I mean literally just this sector, they amended 123 away. But before they amended 123 away, okay, just as I was saying just now, they wanted to reduce duplication between 123 and 124. Not just this sector, but even along this sector as well. So what eventually happened to 123 was that they snipped off this whole sector from Scotts Road, Newton Road, Momin Road to St. Mike's. They didn't want it to duplicate. And then they made 123 loop at Tomlinson. Just like Service 36. They made it loop there. And there used to be like Service 23, Service 132 as well. 132 was like Ang Mo Kio to Tomlinson Road loop in the past. Yeah, 132 Ang Mo Kio to Tomlinson Road loop. 123 was New Bridge Road to Tomlinson Road loop. 23 was Tampines Avenue 5 straight to PIE. And then it went Dobby got to Tomlinson Road loop. You know, I should just list them out. It's like 36 was 16E, and 16E didn't originate from Tomlinson either. It was only like a few years later then they renumbered it to 36 and then, you know, changed it to loop at Tomlinson. So it was like this, and this one. So yeah, all of them were loop last time. So then, what happened to 123? So eventually, when 14 was integrated with the old Service 92, okay, this Service 92 was like, if I recall, it was Airport Road, then MacPherson, Bendemeer, Jalan Besar, Bencoolen, then Dobby got Somerset, Orchard, and I believe it was Irwell Bank Road, Patterson, Irwell Bank, River Valley, Delta, Lower Delta, Jalan Bukit Merah. Yeah, that was old 92. 92, I think it went all the way to like Clementi. Yeah, it was like Jalan Bukit Merah, Alexandra, Ayer Rajah Road, which is AYE. And then after AYE, it was like Buona Vista Flyover, Dover Road, Dover Avenue, Commonwealth Avenue West, Clementi Avenue 3. Something along those lines, I think. I'm not like I'm not that familiar with like the old 92. I just know that like it used to be a part of like present day 14. I mean, so that's why these two got integrated together. So when these two got integrated together, 123 eventually took over the old 14's route, and then like obviously 190 is gone, 191 is also gone. So they replaced like this whole sector with just 123, and then yeah, Clemenceau Avenue, things like this. So basically, whatever I explained just now, with that in mind, 123 remained. It remained as the sole service from Bukit Merah Central, Jalan Bukit Merah, Queensway, basically whatever I described just now. Clemenceau, Havelock, and then stuff like that. So they snipped off this sector because, again, like I told you, they didn't want this thing to copy 124 like too much. So they snipped off the Outram Road, New Bridge Road sector. They replaced it with, again, they just wanted to, because as I said, 123 was never meant to be like this sort of like, you know, kind of like a keyhole bus service. The shape of the route, I mean. It was never intended to. It was just like, over time, the route just happened to be like that. They didn't want New Bridge, so they were like, okay, what's a good place to loop 123? So this is Tiong Bahru, and they were like searching around the area to see like what is the best way to make 123 loop. Is it Bukit Ho Swee? Is it like Bukit Merah View? Can we send it to like Red Hill? Red Hill Road, Red Hill Close, but that is like too close to like the terminating point, which is Bukit Merah Interchange. So they were like looking around. Okay, can we send 123 to like Teluk Blangah or stuff like that? But eventually they just decided to like loop it at Bukit Permai. And mind you, 123 was the only service besides like that 275 until 2014 to like Bukit Permai Avenue. There used to be no 131 inside. It was just 123 and 275. So yeah, 275 was like la 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 like this. And yeah, this was kind of the reason how 123 even became like a keyhole in the first place. So if I if I draw 123 as a keyhole, it used to loop at Bukit Permai. And then they extended this sector to terminate at Harbourfront. Reason why they wanted it to terminate at Harbourfront, okay, number one, it's obviously to eliminate the loop because technically 123 was considered a long loop service. And mind you, like when 123 got delayed because of Orchard Road, yeah, it's quite bad for the bus captain. So they wanted to find a place for it to terminate. So Harbourfront was chosen. And for many, 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 many years, there wasn't a bus service that like went directly from Harbourfront. I'm not even kidding, to Tiong Bahru. Last time, the access penalty from East West Line, you change it at Outram Park. Like Outram Park. You go down the escalator and then you take the Northeast Line here. The access penalty at Outram Park Station it's not the worst, but it was quite bad in that sense. Because you know how they changed the linkway, it used to be like this. It was kind of a hassle to change lines just for like a short journey. I mean, the only benefit that you get from taking Northeast Line is that if your destination is Vivo City, you want to do some shopping underground like Vivo City, basement like, I don't know, 2 or 3, I don't know. Unless you're doing that, I'm just saying that the access penalty for Ocean Park, even today, is like kind of huge. So because of that, I mean, nowadays there's like 123M. I don't need to say much about this. You guys know what 123M is. But basically at that point of time, 123 was like the sole service bridging, and there were no double-decker buses back then. The sole service bridging Tiong Bahru MRT and Harbourfront MRT. I mean, which later became 123M as you know today. Then this thing, obviously, it got extended to Sentosa and Beach. What's that? Beach Station Bus, whatever the name is. But it got extended inside Sentosa because they found that, like, you know, RWS 8, RWS 68, which never materialized, RWS 88 from City Hall, I mean, it got withdrawn. So now there's only RWS 8 left. All the R variants of like 188, 963, they're gone also. So there is RWS 8 that is already from Harbourfront. So they were thinking, okay, let's focus on another, I mean, like, let's concentrate our resources and then let's bring passengers to like the East-West line as well. So again, East-West line at Tiong Bahru, it is a place that, like, I mean, in the south, that like most people frequent. So it was a good idea to just make a 123M, and then not really make a 123M, but let 123M take over the role, because 123M used to be Bukit Permai to Tiong Bahru loop, and in the past there were like other short working trips, like I don't know if it's like 123A or B, but okay, basically 123M used to be essential because 123 never had any double-decker buses, and Bukit Permai, like, you know, Radin Mas Primary School, CHIJ opposite at Telok Blangah Way, that junction, the students, the crowd was insane because they only had 123 to reach Tiong Bahru. At that time, there was no 121. So, as in present day 121. So, yeah, they let 123M sort of like take over the role from that bridges Harbourfront and Tiong Bahru. The frequency is still somewhat okay. I know at sometimes it might be bad, but like generally speaking, it's still quite okay. It does the job. It links places, so I'm not gonna complain. And I don't have to complain. So yeah, basically they found that like Tiong Bahru was a good place to like get catchment from. Tiong Bahru Plaza, MRT, everything. Get catchment from Tiong Bahru like all the way inside Sentosa and effectively bypassing the entrance fee for Sentosa. So that is kind of like the perks of 123, and that's kind of the reason why they put double deckers on this service. So yeah. So nowadays, weekdays it's running normal timetable, but weekends, Saturday and Sunday, they will OTA it, and then they would upsize as well. Cause Sentosa weekend, you upsize the bus. It's quite self-explanatory. But honestly, it is still kind of. I mean, I'm not like too surprised or anything, but if you're watching this for the first time, you might be kind of like surprised that like 123 used to be sort of a like normal route, kind of a zigzag route, and eventually it sort of like became a keyhole shaped route. So yeah,